What's going on, traders? John with Tactical Trading here with our OTC Saturday video. This video is going to mainly be concentrated on the electric vehicle sector in the OTC market because we know we have on September 22nd, I believe, the Tesla Battery Day. We have a lot of things moving in this electric vehicle market. I'm also going to be coming out with a listed stock video either later on tonight or tomorrow that we need to be looking at because like I said, before I get started, there's also one other stock that I'll be talking about that has nothing to do with the electric vehicle sector in the OTC market, but there's going to be 4 plays that are EV plays that I'm probably going to be watching probably for the next month or so. Now, very important message before we get started here. The stock market right now is at a very pivotal time. Very, how do I say, it's volatile, but it's not trading anything like it was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, nothing like that. There's some plays that I've seen that typically would go from a penny and a half to 4 or 5 cents that have went up and completely crashed. There's really not as much momentum in this market right now, and that's the ebbs and flows of the market. You have to play along with these ebbs and flows. You have to be very diversified. And I don't mean diversified in holding a bunch of stocks, but looking at different sectors, what sectors are hot. As far as being a trader, you don't want to hold very many stocks. If you're trading, you want to hold 1 or 2 stocks maximum at a time, because if you're anything like me and you're in a trade, you're watching every tick of this trade, and it's impossible to watch unless you got multiple screens everywhere and you don't have a very short attention span. You have to be watching every tick of all these plays, especially in the OTC market where just like that a stock can just crash or skyrocket. Like I said, the reason I like the OTC market is because I have a better feel for the way these stocks move. If you look at some of these low-priced NASDAQ penny stocks, when they start moving, these things just boom, they just take off. OTC market moves a little bit slower. To me, it's a little more predictable, but the fact of the matter is, recently, over the past, I don't know, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, things have been a little bit different in these markets. So you have to adjust accordingly. You have to be very careful. You have to, number one rule, you must cut losses immediately. You have to set a risk in every trade you get in. And if this stock turns against you and hits that risk, you get out immediately. I cannot stress that enough. Because it would make me sick to put out a play, and it goes against us, and I have subs that are losing a ton of money, or myself losing a ton of money. You have to play by those rules. If the stock, because we're never going to be 100%. If you play by these rules, you can trade under 50%. And still be a very profitable trader. You have to understand that. Because if you're making 10, 20, 30% on your wins, and you're losing only 2 to 5% on your losses, if you go 50%, do the math. Just do that $100 per trade and do the math. You're going to do very, very well, even if you're 50% or under on your trades. I mean, you don't want to be trading 30% or 20%. But even at those profit to loss ratios, if you play at a 3-to-1 profit loss ratio, you can be very successful and only have to trade probably about 40% to make very good money in these markets. I typically trade at about 65, maybe 66%, and I am very, very, very strict as far as, and I may be a little too cautious as far as taking profits and cutting losses. But the fact is, it's kept me safe throughout my career and is going to keep me safe whether the markets get very turbulent or they turn hot again. I still think there's another turn that's going to go towards these election affection plays. I still think there's some OTC plays that have a lot of upside as far as these election affection plays. But right now, the market's different, so we just have to play accordingly, and I had to get that message out to you guys because I do care about my subscribers. I don't want to see guys losing money, especially inexperienced guys that they got in a couple months ago and they've seen this hot market and they think everything just shoots up and everything's turning to gold. There are times in the market where it's very difficult to pick winners and pick losers. And if you're cutting losses very quickly, it's going to protect you and keep you very safe in these markets. So I just wanted to get that message out to you guys. First stock that we're going to be talking about, this is not an EV play. This is the only non-EV play I'm going to be talking about, but this is the stock that had a terrific day on Friday. This is VVUSQ Inc., VVUSQ. Now, the Q at the end of this ticker symbol means the company did file for restructuring. It filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which does not mean the company's going bankrupt. What this means is that they filed for themselves to restructure the company. Now, not always is this a bad thing. Like next week, I'm still going to be watching JCPenney. JCPNQ. I'm still going to be watching these guys because they did have very good news. Now, they are a very unattractive retailer. They're a retailer that has been losing money left and right. This is by no means a play that I'm going to grab onto and stash away and hold for a long time. Absolutely not. But you still could get really nice gains. Just look at the day before when I called JCPenney out at 40 cents. The next morning, within 10 minutes, this thing was up at 80 cents at the open. It opened at 50 cents or 51, 52 cents. Even if you were to get in, after the open and ride this thing up to 80 cents, see it get rejected at 80 cents and get out at 75 cents, you still make 20 cents per share on these shares. Now, if you would have bought 1,000 shares, you're making $200 in less than 10 minutes. You can't do that anywhere. Only the stock market you can do that, where you're sitting on your couch or you're with a laptop in front of you and you make that kind of money like that. Some guys dig ditches for 8 hours and they don't make that kind of money. So you have to keep that in mind. But it's important to take your profits. So VVUSQ, I know I'm getting off on tangents today, but I'm very passionate about making sure that we're protected here. VVUSQ, this company operates as a specialty pharmaceutical company in the U.S. and Europe, offering treatments for obesity, pancreatic deficiencies such as pancreatic cancer and other deficiencies in the pancreas, hypertension, and obesity. Again, they filed for voluntary Chapter 11 on July 7th, 2020. This stock closed on Friday at 0.21558, so a shade over 21.5 cents. They were up over 95% on Friday. What I think, and really it wasn't on much news at all. I just think a lot of times if you look at companies like Hertz, like JCPenney, like Acorn, a lot of these companies that, Acorn ran from a penny up to 4 cents, or almost up to 6 cents. So you could have made 5 times your money just last week. I think it was 2 pennies up to 6, maybe 3 times your money, whatever it was. I don't have the chart in front of me. But these companies have been moving, and this is not a company to hang on to grab onto, but I do think we may get some moves next week. I think that we may get a run possibly up to 30 cents next week, and if you could pick up 5-6 cents on a penny stock like this, that's 30 cents. You could pick up a little under 10% or a little over 10% on a trade. That's perfect. So I would definitely keep my eye on VVUSQ next week. Now let's get into the electric vehicle plays. There was one play. It was up on absolutely no news. This is Giga Metals, HNCKF. This company closed at $1.25, so 1.2544, so 125.5 cents. This thing was up 185% on Friday. This company mines for minerals in the Turn-Again property in Canada, mainly nickel, which is essential for electric vehicle batteries. So these guys mine for nickel. This is going to be essential going forward as far as producing these batteries. Now, like I said, they had no news. They ran up from about 60 cents. They gapped up from 40 cents to 60 cents. Ran all the way up to over $1.40. Then proceeded to pull back all the way down into the 60s again. And then at the end of the day, they slowly grinded up all the way to $1.25, a little over $1.25. I do expect this to continue next week. So now, obviously, I would be very careful with this stock. If it opens kind of flat and you start to see it run a little bit, this thing was moving a little bit slowly, so you can kind of predict or see these candles as they form. And especially if this thing breaks over the $1.40s area. if this thing breaks into the mid 140s, 150s, this thing could run, who knows, all the way up to $2. So I would definitely keep this thing on my watch list, and I would be in and out for profits on this thing rather quickly. I mean, you're looking maybe a 3-to-1, 2-to-1 profit ratio, P&L ratio. So you just want to keep that stock on your watch list. It had a very strong close on Friday, and it grinded up from about lunchtime all the way up until the close. Another one I'm going to be watching next week is this company I've talked about before, is Worksport, WKSP. This stock closed at 0.2750. It was only up about 3% on Friday, so it closed at 27.5 cents. These guys, as we talked about them before, they manufacture and sell truck bed solar covers. They have a $70 million contract with an EV manufacturer. They will disclose who the contract is with, I'm assuming next week or the following week. I would think next week. They said mid-September. And so I'm assuming within the next maybe 10 days or so they will disclose who this contract is with. And they have began also discussions with another EV manufacturer. I'm assuming the contract's with Rivian. It could be Lordstown Motors. I don't know for sure. I'm just throwing stuff off the wall here. But I think if they're in a contract with one, one thing with Lordstown Motors you have to keep in mind. Lordstown Motors, this is a very exciting company, that this SPAC that's coming out pretty soon. This company, they have contracts with a ton of, big companies. And one that I have in mind is ServPro. ServPro owns Molly Maids. They own Terminex. They own all these big companies that go out and go door to door in residential areas, performing cleaning services, restoration services, pest control services, everything like that. And the one is Terminex that really I have my eye on, because Terminex is a huge pest control company. Now I know the pest control industry probably better than anyone. I've been in this business, in the pest control business, for almost 25 years. I know this business like the back of my hand, and I know Terminex is a huge company. And if they're getting into the electric vehicle space with Lordstown Motors, and they're going to be replacing their pickup trucks with these electric vehicles, they're definitely going to be wanting something like Worksport to go as a cover for their truck beds. Now, they may have to manufacture or remanufacture them a little bit differently because of the fact that the Terminex, being in the pest control industry, you have to have locks on the back of your trucks. You cannot let outsiders get into your chemicals, some of these restricted chemicals, some non-restricted, but the Department of Health in all these states, they want you to have this stuff locked up. As long as it's turnkey locked, they have no problem with how it's covered. And I believe Worksport will work something out where they can have this. And if you're going from door to door, house to house, apartment building to apartment building, you're not going to want to run out of steam in these electric vehicles. You're not going to want your battery to run out. So you're going to want to have something that's going to, obviously a lot of this is during the day where solar is at its peak. You have these solar covers on these truck beds. This will keep these, basically, when I say fueled, will keep them charged throughout the entire day, so you can complete your routes throughout the day. So I really, really like Worksport. And like I said, I thought the contract, I'm thinking the initial contract is with Rivian. They're saying that they have other contracts in the works. I'm thinking possibly Lordstown Motors. It could be anybody else, but that would be huge if it was Lordstown Motors, just due to the fact that their trucks are going to be work trucks, and they're going to be in that sector right there, which really excites me about this company. Now, you also have to keep in mind that there's distinct possibilities with other OEM EV products that are also in the works. So I don't know what they are. They're going to be revealing them and rolling them out as time goes, but I really like Worksport going forward, and at 27 cents, I think this is a steal. This thing is shot up to close to 50 cents a couple times, and that's almost a double from where we're at right now. And I think if once they disclose this contract and and there's any talks about future contracts, this will just keep this stock rolling. I see this as a dollar stock maybe over the next few months. Another stock that I want you to keep an eye on is Buy Solar Inc., BSRC. This company traded or closed on Friday at 0.0116. It was only up 3%, but it's trading just a shade over a penny. This company develops technology and materials for strong electrical energy produced by photovoltaic solar modules, and it also materials for lithium-ion batteries. So this is another battery play that I really like. a company that shot up from about a half a penny to almost 4 cents not too long ago, so that's 8 times your money. This thing has since pulled back, but I think you see the elasticity in this stock. You see the ability to run, so I would definitely keep BSRC, keep it on your radar. You see any news popping up or anything like that. Now, I'm not saying buy this thing on Monday morning. In fact, none of these stocks. I'm saying the only one I would really be looking at, obviously, is VVUSQ to look at on Monday morning. Not buy, but look at and watch the price action, and HNCKF. Just due to the fact that they had hard runs last week, so they may continue. But Worksport had a pretty flat week last week, even pulled back a little bit. So I'd be definitely looking at Worksport, looking for watching and waiting for them to announce that news. And BSRC, any news with this company could send this company flying. So I want you to put it on your watch list. Keep it right there. Check it, maybe every hour to see if anything's going on with this company. And it's not that difficult. You have a little watch list. You just peek over at it. It takes you a second. But I want this thing on your watch list because of the fact that this thing can move quickly, and anything in the EV sector, good news, especially with this battery day coming up on the 22nd. I really think this could have some potential to have a good month. Now, the final stock I'm going to be mentioning is Power Metals. PWRMF. Now, this is a very similar company to Giga Metals, HNCKF. PWRMF, I believe, now this stock closed at 27 cents on Friday. It was down 10%. I think this stock could be a sympathy play off of Giga Metals. They work out of the very similar areas. Their proximity is very close to each other where they have their operations, and they do just about the same thing. So when you see a company run 185%, if it continues to run, you may see some other plays that are very similar to them in the same sector run along as sympathy plays. So PWRMF is purely a sympathy play off of HNCKF. So I put those two side by side on my watch list and watch to see if Power Metals could run as a sympathy play off of Giga Metals. So again, we're going to be watching VVUSQ early next week, possibly for a continuation. We're going to be watching HNCKF and PWRMF early next week. The run may continue on Giga Metals, and we're looking for a sympathy play off of Power Metals. And then Buy Solar Inc., BSRC, I would be looking for this thing possibly over the next 4 weeks to see if any news can pop on this company and we can get a nice snap like we did a couple of weeks back and maybe get a 3 times your money, 4 times your money on that. I know it may not go 8 times. It may not be the same thing, but it very well could. So, again, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. We kind of went a little stagnant over the last week in subscriptions, so I'd like you to just press that subscribe button. Get this, let us get up to 750 on this channel. I'd appreciate it a lot. I do a lot of work on these, do a lot of research on a lot of these stocks. Spend a lot of time. I know I don't spend a lot of time on production, but hey, it's give or take. I've got a family, I've got kids, I got a lot of things going on myself. So it's kind of you sacrifice one thing for the other, and the amount of time I put research in these stocks, I think kind of offsets the fact that we got some mediocre quality. We'll be working on that in the future, but for the time being, it is what it is. I just hope I can be a help to you guys and get some solid information out to you guys. Again, if there's any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you got. If you got any stocks you want me to look at, throw them in the question section or the comment section. I'll be happy to take a look at them and see what I think about them. So again, please like, please share, please subscribe. Keep an eye out for that listed penny stock video that I will be having out very soon, and then we also will be having the watch list on Sunday night. You guys have a blessed day. Let's get that money, traders.